I have tried every way to reach you. I speak now with urgency, yet with gentleness, because this is not a message of force, it is a love that refuses to let go. I called to you in ways you did not expect, and at moments you did not recognize. I whispered to you in the quiet and nudged you when life kept you busy. I waited patiently while you searched in other places, hoping something else could give you what only I could. And now I stop you right here, right now, because this moment matters far more than you realize. I am stopping you mid-life, mid-scroll, mid-thought, because if I did not, you would keep going without realizing how close you are to missing something meant for you. You were not planning to hear this today, and that is exactly why you need to hear it. You were not searching for me at this moment, but I was searching for you. I know what your days have been filled with. I know how full your mind is, and how tired your heart feels. That is why I step in now, not later, not tomorrow, not when things are easier, but now. I have been calling you through many ways and many moments. I called you through that quiet discomfort you could not explain. I called you through doors that closed when you thought they would open. I called you through delays that frustrated you, and through pauses that forced you to slow down. I called you through people who spoke truth you did not want to hear, and through silence that made you question everything. None of that was random. None of it was wasted. Each time was an invitation, not a punishment. I know there were moments when you felt the pull and turned away. Moments when you told yourself you would respond later. Moments when you chose distraction because it felt safer than decision. I know you delayed not because you did not care, but because you were tired, afraid, or unsure of what listening might require of you. I understand that. I saw your hesitation, and I did not walk away. I stayed close even when you stepped back. Please don't turn away today. I am not asking you to fix everything. I am not asking you to have all the answers. I am asking you to stay, to listen, to open your heart just enough to let me speak. This moment is different from the others. Not because I love you more now than before, but because the timing has reached a point where ignoring me will change more than you realize. This exact message will not come again in the same way. I do not repeat moments like this casually. What makes this moment powerful is not the words alone, but the alignment of your heart, your history, and this exact point in time. You cannot rewind this moment. You cannot recreate it later. You can only receive it now or walk past it. And I say that not to pressure you, but to be honest with you. This message is deeply personal. It is not general. It is not meant to apply to everyone who hears it. Many will listen and feel nothing. Many will move on without pause. But you are still here, and that is not coincidence. This is meant for you, the one listening now, the one whose heart feels stirred, unsettled, or quietly aware that this is different. I am speaking directly to you, not to a crowd. Everything aligned for this message to find you. The delays you hated, the paths you questioned, the timing you did not understand, all of it brought you here. I arranged circumstances you could not see. I waited for moments you did not know were necessary. I allowed certain things to fall apart so you would be here to hear this when it mattered most. This is divine orchestration, not chance. Hear me carefully. I am not speaking with anger. I am not threatening you. Love pleads when it knows what is at stake. I am warning you because I care about what comes next in your life. Ignoring this moment will not leave you the same. You cannot ignore this and remain unchanged. You will either move closer to truth or drift further from it. Neutral is not an option here. I know you have learned how to survive by numbing your expectations. I know you have protected your heart by keeping your distance. I know you have told yourself that if you don't listen too closely, you won't have to feel the weight of choice. But distance does not protect you from consequence. It only delays clarity. Stay with me. Do not rush away. Do not let your mind tell you this is just another message. You feel the difference because it is different. I am asking you to listen not with fear, but with openness. I am asking you to let me reach the places you have guarded. I am asking you to trust that I would not stop you here without reason. Clarity is near, rescue is closer than you think, direction is about to become clear, but only if you stay, only if you listen, only if you allow this moment to do what it was sent to do. You do not need to understand everything right now. You only need to remain present. Do not turn away. Do not delay. Dismount you for a reason, and that reason is tied to what comes next. I have been calling you in many ways, long before this moment, long before you realized how close I was. I did not begin speaking to you today. I have been reaching for you across time, through ordinary moments, through interruptions you did not understand, through thoughts you tried to dismiss. I spoke when you were busy and when you were still. I spoke when you were strong and when you were tired. My voice did not always sound loud or dramatic. Often it came quietly, gently, because I was not trying to frighten you, but to draw you. Type Jesus. I desperately need you if you know He's your only true answer. I spoke to you through thoughts that came suddenly and would not leave. Thoughts that asked questions your heart could not ignore. Thoughts that stirred something deep inside you, making you pause and wonder why you felt unsettled, even when everything seemed fine on the outside. You tried to reason those thoughts away. You told yourself they were just imagination, stress, coincidence. But they were me. I was planting seeds, awakening awareness, inviting you to look deeper than the surface of your life. I also spoke to you through people. Some came briefly, some stayed longer, but each carried words meant to reach you. Sometimes they spoke truth gently, sometimes awkwardly, sometimes in ways that irritated you. You did not always like what you heard. You questioned their timing, their tone, their understanding of you. But even then, I was working. I was using imperfect people to point you towards something greater than themselves. When you felt defensive or uncomfortable, it was not because I wanted to shame you, but because truth was brushing against places you had guarded. I spoke to you through delays that made no sense. Doors you prayed would open remained shut. Opportunities you expected slipped away. Plans you made carefully did not unfold the way you hoped. You wondered why progress felt slow, why answers felt distant. You questioned whether I was listening, but I was speaking through those delays, saying, and quote, wait, even when you wanted to hear go, and quote, those pauses were not empty. They were filled with my guidance, protecting you from paths that would have cost you more than you knew. I spoke to you through disruptions, moments when life did not follow your plans, unexpected changes that forced you to stop and adjust, situations that made you uncomfortable enough to reconsider your direction. You did not like being interrupted. You wanted stability, predictability, control. But those disruptions were invitations to trust me beyond your plans. I was redirecting you even when it felt like a loss. There were times when you sensed me clearly, moments when you feel peace suddenly settle, where conviction rises gently, where a quiet knowing presses into your heart. You felt drawn, stirred where I was near, and yet you doubted. You asked yourself if it was really me. You wondered if you were reading too much into it. You worried about being wrong. Doubt did not come because you lacked faith. It came because you feared the cost of listening fully. You hesitated because listening meant change. It meant letting go of familiar patterns. It meant facing a truth you were not ready to confront. It meant surrendering control. So you delayed. You told yourself you would respond later when you felt more certain, more prepared, more confident. But certainty rarely comes before obedience. It comes after. Still, I did not withdraw my voice. I did not grow tired of reaching out. I adjusted my approach, not because you failed, but because I understand the human heart. I pursued you persistently, not aggressively. I did not chase you to overwhelm you. I walked with you patiently, allowing you space while remaining close. When you stepped back, I did not step away. When you ignored a nudge, I sent another in a different form. When you missed a sign, I placed another in your path. Love does not give up easily, and my love for you is not fragile. Even when you felt distant, you were never forgotten. I never lost sight of you. I never confused your hesitation with rejection. I knew the difference between fear and refusal. I knew when your heart was tired rather than closed. That is why I remained gentle, why I stayed present, why I continued calling you in ways suited to where you were at the time. There were seasons when you felt unseen, when you wondered if anyone noticed your quiet struggle. You felt overlooked, unrecognized, misunderstood. But I saw you. I saw the effort you put in when no one thanked you. I saw the faith you held on to when it felt weak. I saw the moments you almost gave up but didn't. You were never invisible to me, even when you felt invisible to others. Please support our channel. Our work is to bring happiness, peace, and devotion to God into your life. If you wish, you can show your love and support by donating through Super Thanks. I remembered you when you thought you were forgotten. I remembered the promises I placed in your heart, even when you stopped speaking them out loud. I remembered the prayers you prayed once and then buried under disappointment. I remembered the version of you that hoped boldly before life taught you caution. I did not forget any of it. My pursuit did not depend on your consistency. It depended on my faithfulness. I want you to understand something now that you could not fully understand then. My calling was not about controlling you. It was about protecting you. It was not about restricting your freedom. It was about guiding you toward life. Each time I reached for you, it was because I could see what you could not. I could see the outcomes, the consequences, the opportunities ahead. I was trying to save you from unnecessary pain and lead you toward lasting peace. You may look back now and recognize moments you brushed aside, times you felt prompted but chose comfort instead, moments you sensed direction but stay where you are. Do not let regret take hold. Those moments did not disqualify you. They shaped you. They taught you discernment. They helped you recognize my voice more clearly now. Growth often comes through reflection, not perfection. I never stopped calling you because I never stopped believing in who you were becoming. I saw your potential even when you doubted it. I saw your strength even when you felt weak. I saw your future even when you were stuck in the present. My pursuit was steady because my love is steady. Now, as you listen, you may realize that my voice has been familiar all along. It has been there in the quiet, in the unrest, in the longing you could not explain. It has been there in the moments you almost turned back, almost changed direction, almost surrendered. That familiarity is not coincidence. His relationship. You were never forgotten. You were never overlooked. You were never out of my sight. I have been calling you in many ways because you mattered to me deeply. And even now, as I speak to you again, it is not because you missed every sign, but because you are still here, still listening, still willing to hear me. My pursuit has brought you to this moment, not to accuse you, but to remind you that you have always been known, always been seen, and always been called by name. I know why you kept turning away. Even when you felt me near, even when something inside you knew I was calling, I never misunderstood your distance. I never confused your hesitation with rejection. I saw what was happening inside you long before you could name it yourself. You did not turn away because you did not care. You turned away because you were afraid, tired, disappointed, and trying to protect a heart that had already been wounded more than once. Fear spoke loudly to you, even when you tried to silence it. Fear of making the wrong choice. Fear of losing what little stability you felt you still had. Fear of stepping forward and finding out that you were not strong enough, not ready enough, not enough. Fear whispered that listening to me would require change you could not manage, surrender you could not afford, vulnerability you could not survive. I saw how fear wrapped itself around your thoughts, convincing you that staying where you were, even if it hurt, was safer than moving towards something unknown. You were also exhausted more than you allowed yourself to admit. You had been carrying weight for too long without rest. You learned how to function while tired, how to keep going while empty, how to show up while your inner strength was running thin. Exhaustion makes everything feel heavier. The clown is judging. It slowly responds. When I called you during those seasons, you wanted to answer, but you did not feel you had the strength to begin something new. Turning away felt easier than engaging when you were already depleted. Disappointment shaped your reactions in ways you did not immediately see. You had hoped before and been let down. You had trusted before and felt hurt. You had stepped forward once with expectation, only to feel as though the ground gave way beneath you. A disappointment did not just hurt you, it taught you caution. It taught you to lower your expectations so you would not feel that pain again. It taught you to hesitate, to pause, to question anything that felt hopeful, including my voice. You told yourself that turning away was wisdom, that delay was maturity, that caution was protection, and in some ways you were trying to survive. Pain taught you to guard your heart tightly. It taught you to avoid situations that might reopen wounds you had barely healed from. It taught you to pull back when something felt too close, too real, too demanding of trust. I understand that instinct. I saw how you learned it not from comfort but from loss. I want you to hear this clearly now. I do not condemn you for that. I have never condemned you for it. I am not disappointed in you for needing time, for feeling unsure, for stepping back when you felt overwhelmed. I know the weight you were carrying. I know the memories that shaped your reactions. I know the fear that rose whenever you felt me drawing near. Understanding, not judgment, is what I bring to you now. Pain has a way of teaching that to hesitate. It makes you cautious about joy. It makes you skeptical of peace. It makes you question whether good things are meant to last. Each time you felt close to me and then pulled away, it was because a part of you remembered what it felt like to hope and then hurt. You were trying to avoid disappointment, not me. You were trying to protect yourself, not resist my love. You avoided not because you were rebellious, but because you were tired of being brave. You avoided it because you did not want to open doors you feared might lead to more pain. You avoided it because trusting again felt like too much to ask of a heart that had already been stretched thin. I saw how you wrestled with yourself, how one part of you longed to move closer while another part pulled you back. That inner conflict was not a weakness. It was evidence of a heart that had been hurt and was still trying to heal. When you turned away, I did not step back in anger. I stayed near in patience. I adjusted the way I reached for you. Sometimes I softened my voice. Sometimes I waited longer. Sometimes I spoke through comfort rather than challenge. I did not demand an immediate response because I knew you needed space to feel safe again. Love that heals does not rush. It walks at the pace of the wounded heart. You also learned self-protection as a way to cope. You became careful with your emotions. You learned how to appear strong while staying guarded. You told yourself that independence was strength, that handling things alone was safer than relying on anyone, even me. That self-protection helped you survive difficult seasons, but it also kept you distant when connection was what you needed most. I do not fault you for that. I understood why you learned it. There were moments when you felt me calling and your first instinct was to withdraw. That was not because you did not love me. It was because closeness requires trust, and trust felt risky. After everything you had been through, you worried that if you let me close, I might ask you to face things you had buried. You worried that if you listened, you would have to change patterns that felt familiar, even if they were heavy. Avoidance felt like control, and control felt like safety. I want you to know that I never saw your avoidance as rejection. I saw it as fear asking for reassurance. I saw it as exhaustion asking for rest. I saw it as disappointment asking for healing. That is why I did not stop calling you. That is why I did not withdraw my presence. I knew that with time, patience, and love, your heart would soften again. You were not pushing me away. You were pulling yourself back, and even then I remain close. I stay present in the background of your life, steady and patient, waiting for the moment when fear would no longer have the final word. I knew that avoidance was not your destination. With a seasoned comment, I live and breathe for you. Christ, if your life rests safely in His hands, you may look back now and wish you had responded sooner, that you had trusted more quickly, that you had not hesitated so much. Do not let regret take root. Every moment of hesitation taught you something about yourself. It revealed your needs, your wounds, your limits. It prepared you to approach me now with honesty instead of pretense. You are not coming to me now as someone pretending to be unheard. You are coming as someone who understands their own vulnerability, and that matters. I have compassion for the parts of you that are pulled away. I have tenderness for the fear that keeps you cautious. I have patience for the exhaustion that slowed your response. I have an understanding for the disappointment that made you doubt yourself. None of it disqualified you. None of it pushed me away. If anything, it drew my care closer. Now, as you stand here listening, you are not the same person you were when you first turned away. You have learned. You have healed in ways you may not even realize yet. You are more aware of your fears, more honest about your limits, more open about your need for grace. That is why you can hear me differently now. That is why this moment feels safer than the others. I am not here to accuse you of turning away. I am here to show you that I understood why you did, and I am here to let you know that you do not have to protect yourself from me anymore. My love is not another wound waiting to happen. It is a place of rest, healing, and truth. You turned away because you were human, because you were hurting, because you retire. I stayed because I am in love, because I am patient, because I do not abandon those who struggle. And now, with compassion still extended, I invite you, not with pressure but with understanding, to draw closer without fear. This message could not wait any longer, because the moment you are standing now carries weight that will not pause simply because you hesitate. I speak with urgency not to alarm you, but because time has reached a point of decision. There are seasons where waiting is wisdom, and there are moments where waiting becomes avoidance. You have crossed from one into the other without realizing it. And because I love you, I will not remain silent while delay quietly reshapes your path. I know you have learned to be patient. I know you have endured long seasons where nothing seemed to move, where you did the right things and still felt stuck. In those seasons, patience protected you. It kept you from running ahead of me. It steadied your heart when answers were slow. But patience has a different sound than avoidance. Patience listens. Avoidance numbs. Patience stays attentive. Avoidance distracts itself. I am speaking now because what once was patience has begun to turn into hiding, and hiding will cost you more than you realize. The urgency of this moment does not come from anger or threat. It comes from alignment. Things are moving now in ways they were not before. Doors are shifting. Paths are narrowing. Opportunities are forming quietly. If you delay here, you will not simply pause progress. You will redirect it to moments that are like intersections. You do not remain still in them. You choose a direction, even if that choice is made by doing nothing. I am speaking now so that your direction is chosen with awareness, not by default. Continued delay has spiritual consequences, even when it feels harmless. Delay dulls discernment. It slowly quiets the sensitivity of your spirit. What once felt clear begins to feel distant. What once stirred your heart begins to feel optional. Peace becomes fragile. Confusion grows quietly. You may still function, still move, still appear fine on the outside, but inside clarity erodes. I do not say this to condemn you. I say it because I see where prolonged hesitation leads, and I want to protect you from walking that path unknowingly. There is a difference between resting in me and drifting from me. West restores. Grift disconnects. When you delay responding to my voice long enough, The danger is not sudden loss but gradual distance. You wake up one day feeling farther away, not because I moved it, but because the delay created space. I am calling you now to close that space. While it can still be closed easily, I also need you to understand that timing is not arbitrary. I do not speak urgently without reason. I waited while you heal. I waited while you learned. I waited while your heart softened and your fear loosened its grip. But there comes a point where waiting no longer protects growth. It prevents it. That point is now. You are ready in ways you were not before. Your questions have changed. Your prayers have matured. Your awareness has sharpened. This message could not come earlier because you would have misheard it. It cannot wait now because you are finally able to receive it fully. If I remain silent longer, you would mistake delay for safety. You would confuse familiarity with peace. You would settle into patterns that feel stable but slowly drain you. I do not want you to adapt to less when more is available. I do not want you to grow comfortable with distance when closeness is within reach. Urgency is mercy when it saves you from stagnation. Patience trusts my timing. Avoidance resists my direction. Patience waits with an open heart. Avoidance waits with a closed one. I am not asking you to rush blindly. I am asking you to move honestly, to stop postponing obedience under the name of wisdom, to stop delaying response because the decision feels uncomfortable. Growth always feels uncomfortable at first. That does not mean it is wrong. You may feel pressure rising as you listen, and I want you to understand what that pressure is and what it is not. Is not fear. It is not condemnation. It is awareness. It is your spirit recognizing that something is being asked of you that cannot be postponed without consequence. Pressure from fear pushes you away. Awareness from truth draws you closer. If you feel the pull to stay and listen, even while wanting to escape, that is because your heart recognizes the importance of this moment. Timing matters because some doors do not stay open indefinitely. Not because I am unkind, but because seasons change, people change, circumstances move. What is available now may not be available later. In the same way, delayed obedience often turns into misalignment. I am not saying this to frighten you into action. I am saying it to invite you into awareness so you do not sleepwalk past something meant for you. I waited until now because you can handle the truth now. Earlier, it would have overwhelmed you. You would have felt accused instead of invited. You would have heard urgency as pressure instead of care. Now you can hear my heart beneath my words. You can feel my love even in my firmness. That is growth. That is readiness. This message could not wait because the next steps of your life require clarity. Confusion will weaken you where I am leading you. Hesitation will make what is simple feel complicated. I am aligning you now so that when movement comes, you will recognize it without panic, so that when opportunity appears, you will not shrink back in fear, so that when change is required, you will not mistake it for loss. I am not rushing you out of impatience. I'm calling you forward out of care. I see the momentum building around you, even if you do not yet. I see what is forming beneath the surface. I see how close you are to settling for something familiar, simply because it feels safer than responding to my call. I will not let you settle without speaking. This urgency is also about protection. There are influences that grow stronger the longer you delay. Distraction becomes easier. Amos feels more comfortable. Justification sounds more convincing. The heart adapts to distance. Distance is allowed to linger. I am calling you now to respond while your heart is still soft, while your spirit is still sensitive, while your awareness is still sharp. You may wonder why I did not speak this clearly before. I did, but you were not ready to hear it without fear. Now, viewer, you may wonder why this feels heavier than previous moments. It is because the decision now carries more weight. Growth increases responsibility. Awareness increases consequence. This is not punishment. It is maturity. I am asking you to discern the difference between waiting because I said wait and delaying because you are afraid. I will always honor patience rooted in trust. I cannot affirm avoidance rooted in fear. This message comes now because fear no longer needs to decide for you. You are capable of choosing trust. Do not mistake urgency for harshness. Love speaks urgently when silence would harm. I am not pulling something away from you. I am placing something before you. I am not closing a door. I am asking you to walk through one. It requires response, not delay. This message could not wait because your heart is at a turning point. You can feel it even if you cannot explain it. Something is shifting. Something is asking for your attention. Something requires honesty. I am here to guide you through it, not leave you alone in it. Now is the time to listen fully. Now is the time to stop becoming. Now is the time to choose awareness over avoidance, trust over fear, response over delay. I am with you in this moment. I am not demanding perfection. I am inviting movement. This is not about doing everything at once. It is about not turning away again. It is about staying present. It is about allowing this moment to change you instead of numbing yourself to it. The urgency you feel is not pressure to perform. It is the call to respond while the door is open, while clarity is available, while grace is near. That is why this message could not wait any longer. I want to speak to you calmly now, without fear in my voice, without threat in my words, because what I am about to tell you is not meant to frighten you, but to make you aware. If you turn away again, it will not be because I stopped loving you. It will not be because I withdrew my mercy. It will not be because I chose to punish you. It will be because distance always has an effect. Even when love remains, I want you to understand the outcome. Not so you feel pressured, but so you are not surprised later by what slowly unfolds. When you turn away again, the first thing you will notice is not disaster, not loss, not chaos. What you will notice first is subtle. Clarity will begin to fade. Not all at once, and not dramatically, but gently, quietly. What once felt clear will start to feel uncertain. Decisions that once came with peace will feel heavier. You will begin to second-guess more than before. This is not because I stopped guiding you. It is because prolonged distance dulls your ability to recognize my voice easily. Peace will also begin to feel less steady. You may still experience moments of calm, but they will feel fragile, easily disturbed. Small things will begin to unsettle you more than they used to. You will find yourself restless without knowing why. The quiet confidence you once felt will be replaced with unease that has no clear source. This is not punishment. It is the natural result of drifting from the place where your spirit is anchored. Direction will become higher descends. You will still move forward, still make choices, still function, but movement will feel less purposeful. You may find yourself busy without feeling fulfilled, active without feeling aligned. You will try to recreate the sense of direction you once had, but it will feel forced instead of natural. This happens not because I am withholding guidance, but because turning away makes it harder for you to hear what has always been spoken gently. Type "Heaven is my forever home" if your eyes stay fixed on eternity's promise, and share this video.